called the Foundational Fitness Protocol by Andrew Huberman. If you would have asked me to do that 10 years ago, I would have said, but I went, no, I'm going to take action straight away. Last week changed everything for me. Welcome to the Life on Purpose Over 40 podcast, where empowerment, elegance, and health take center stage. I'll be your guide on this thrilling journey to outshine your past self. This is a podcast all about transformation. We're plunging headfirst into exactly what health, wellness, style, relationships, and career look like as a woman over 40. You'll be hearing from all the most sought-after global trailblazers and experts. This isn't just about learning, it's about embracing your inner, fierce, fabulous self. Let's get started. Hi, welcome to today's episode of Life on Purpose Over 40. I'm so excited to have you here. Today's episode is going to be very different from what I've done in the past and very unexpected. So I decided to do a 30-day challenge, and I had not planned on sharing this at all, but some things happened over the last especially 24 hours, which made me say I need to share this with everyone because it has already blown my mind, and I am so excited, and I think that so many people will learn a lot from what I've got to share today. So I'd like to start off by saying I'm not a fitness instructor. I haven't done any sort of fitness training. So anything I say here is completely my experience and what I have learned and what works for me. And it's not about sharing that you need to follow what I'm doing exactly. It's more about the mindset behind it that I think is very, very important, because I think that it can make a big difference to so many people's lives. So if you're the sort of person who is all or nothing, if you have that mentality, and I've always been like that, of all or nothing, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to do these workouts and I'm going to follow something and do it all the way, and then it doesn't work, and then I fail, and then I feel like I failed at everything. If that's the way you feel, then this is definitely something you want to listen to, because I think it's going to open you to a new way of thinking. If you're in a situation where you think, oh, I'll do it after my kids' exams, or I'll go and take care of that once I've, finished my job, or I'll take care of that, in the new year, or I'll take care of that after my holidays. If you have that sort of mentality, you need to listen to this as well, because that is exactly the sort of thing that I kept on doing. And last week changed everything for me. So just to give you a little bit of a background, I've been in a situation where I have gone through a huge bout of terrible perimenopause symptoms. And because of that is why I'm here where I am today. This is why I started this podcast. This is why I'm in the situation of doing what I can to better myself, but also finding the answers for other people as well, helping find those answers, because I think that there's so much out there that we are not being told about, and so many things we can do to create a better life for ourselves. In this video, what I'm going to be covering is where I was, the situation I was in. I want to talk about what I'm doing now, what I've decided to do, and a few other points on Dr. Peter Attica, and he talks about longevity as well, a few points he makes. And also I want to discuss what's working for me and what's happened in the last week. So more about my background. I had gone through terrible perimenopause symptoms. I was only young when I started. I found out when I was 2 that I was going through perimenopause, and that was something that is probably on the younger side. It's not very, very young, but it was young. And I had extreme symptoms. So some women don't feel this until they're in their 50s, but I was going through, I don't know if you want to call it depression. I was in a situation where I was feeling completely run down. I didn't want to get out of bed. It was really only because of my daughter that I actually got myself out of bed each day. I put on a whole lot of weight. I've never had a problem with my weight when I was younger. And so I put on an extreme amount of weight. I was probably back to what I was when I was straight after I had my baby. I was extremely bloated. I could not move. I was eating terribly. It was probably one of the lowest points of my life, I have to say. It actually was the lowest point of my life, where I was at the extreme end of Yeah, I guess you could call it depression because of everything going on. I'm not a person that likes to play victim. I am the person who, once things start going wrong, I need to find a way to fix it. So that's what I did. I went through a huge turnaround and got myself back to a weight where still wasn't 100% happy with, but compared to where I was very happy with. Mindset change, happiness levels changed, everything did change. So I took care of that. And then what happened was a week ago, I turned 44. So last Wednesday, it was my 44th birthday. And just the week prior to that, I was like, okay, things have to change for me. And it was the Sunday that I realized that I wanted to take real action. I had seen this, it's called the Andrew Huberman's fitness protocol. I think the exact name, I'll just tell you what he actually calls it on his foundational fitness. It's called the Foundational Fitness Protocol by Andrew Huberman. And in that, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about it. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube that have been following it. I've heard a lot of things about Andrew talking about it and how he follows it. And if you would have asked me to do that 10 years ago, I would have said, yeah, no problems at all. But Andrew is a single guy, no kids. He works when he wants to work. He can set his own hours. He's not in a situation where I've got a kid, I've got stepkids, I run a home, I'm working now, I'm back at work. And all of these things are going on, and I just could not fit in his regime. The people that are doing it on YouTube, same situation. A lot of these people, I'm all for it. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And of course, if you can follow it 100%, that's fantastic. But I was using the excuse this whole time of, I can't do that because I'm not single with the time to have any sort of schedule. But then I realized something that Andrew does say, and he says this is only a guide. His plan is only a guide, and you need to fit it into your own life. And then it hit me of, why am I still making excuses? So I decided last week that I was going to start it on the Monday. My birthday was on the Wednesday, and I could have at that moment gone, I'll do it after my birthday because I'm going to eat cake and I'm going to have some wine and I'm going to have some fun and I won't have time to fit everything in. But I went, no, I'm going to take action straight away. So I implemented everything last Monday, and I really didn't expect to share anything about this. I thought it was something I'd just bring up in interviews that, yeah, I was doing it or I'm doing it. But what's happened over the last week has absolutely blown my mind. So I really wanted to share it with you. So why the Andrew Huberman method? There's a really good reason why. I spent hundreds of hours doing research at the start of this year, understanding why I had put on so much weight so easily. I had a lot of other things going on. I was bleeding. I was having hot flashes. I had just a whole lot of symptoms that were terrible. And in my research, I had decided that I really wanted to live a long, healthy life. I wanted to be the person who got into my 90s and still be able to be active. I want to be the person that can babysit my grandkids or great grandkids by then, whatever it is. I want to be in a situation where I'm not sitting in a chair waiting to pretty much die. I want to be out and active. And I make the joke all the time. I want to be a skydiving grandma. That's what I want to be. And because of that, there's a few things that we need to do. And Peter Attica talks about it a lot because he talks about our longevity, but there's a few things that we really need to do. And they come down to, as we get older, we lose our muscle mass. Women, more than anything, lose more muscle mass. And why we need our muscle mass, we need our muscles to be strong, but we also need our muscles because muscles is what breaks down the fat to keep us not putting on weight. So we really need our muscles to grow. And once you get into your 40s, it's at a higher rate than we ever had to worry about it before. We should be doing it all the time, but especially in our 40s, 50s, 60s, really taking care of muscle mass. There's a few other things as well. I don't want to be the person who is falling over, having problems. So balance is really important. And what I find is with Andrew Huberman's method is that he takes all of these things into account as the foundational part of fitness. I'm doing this as a 30-day plan, but I really thought last week on Monday, I really thought I was going to be in a position where I'll do it for 30 days and then see if I like it. I really did think that. I'm 7 days in now, and I can tell you I'm most likely this is going to stay as my general looking after my body. I've found a way for it to work with me, and I'm going to go through that as well. I'm going to share what Andrew actually recommends, and I'm going to share how I've made that work for me. There's also a few things that I really had to think about. He talks about building his calves as one of his exercises. For me, I'm less about calves. I'm more about my arms not looking flabby, because that's a big thing for women. I also have a lot of other illnesses. I've got SIBO, and I've managed to keep that at a really nice, balanced, harmonious situation for my body. But it means that certain things of eating well, I can't do certain things that other people do. But I am implementing things like the recommendations for protein, which is also part of building muscle. So 120 grams a day is my protein. You cannot eat that in 1 or 2 sittings. I've seen a lot of people talking about how they have 60 grams of protein from chicken in a sitting. You cannot do that. It's around 20 to 25 grams that your body can digest. So I have to do that over 4 meals. I do fasting as well. So I have a protein shake because of that. But because of my SIBO, I can't have certain protein. I need to take that into account for my own body. And what I find is once you start going through menopause, and we don't know when we're going through menopause, so your symptoms might be menopause related, but you don't realize that yet. So our stomach digestion really changes as we go into menopause. Mine hasn't, because I've already had that problem. But a lot of women talk about getting IBS when they start going through menopause. It's a really common symptom that is unspoken. And because of that, understanding what you can and can't eat. If it is IBS symptoms, things like soy, protein, chickpeas, lentils, those sort of things you cannot eat to gain your protein. So you have to get it from animal products. So the people that talk about having a vegan diet, I'm all for it. That's fantastic. And I believe in the healthiest food possible, but in my situation, it doesn't work for my body. So I'm not going to eat something just because other people tell me being a vegan is the best thing. It doesn't work for my body, and I know that. I also have really bad hips because after having my child, I don't know what went wrong, but my hips are really bad. So I need to be really careful about that on my body. I also have really bad foot pain. So running is not something I can do. I've got bad knees. There's 100 things that I need to take into account. And I'm not going to be following someone's regime because it is the best option. And that's why I really love what Andrew does, is talks about it in a holistic way. A few other things that Andrew talks about overall is sleeping properly. So I want to be in bed every night at 9:30. It doesn't always happen, but I'm really aiming for 9:30 every night. I've always been an early riser. Now winter has set in. It's not as easy as it was in summertime, but I do want to make sure I'm getting up early. Andrew talks about a teaspoon of salt in water every morning. I am implementing that good quality salt and implementing that before my coffee. He says not to drink coffee for 2 hours. Sorry, Andrew, but I cannot last 2 hours without a coffee. So I will be drinking my coffee earlier than 2 hours. Cold exposure, he talks about doing it either. I'll tell you what he does in his routine, but he also talks about doing it as a daily thing. I will be implementing that daily. It doesn't need to be ice water. It just needs to be colder than what you're used to. He talks about it in his podcast. I'm going to link some show notes to cold exposure, how he explains it. So I'll be doing that about 5 times a week, cold exposure. I've already been doing it, and shocked how easy it is for me, who hates going swimming in cold water. All my stepkids know this. It's a running joke in this home that we live on a boat. Everyone swims where we live, and all the kids jump in the water, and I'm never, ever in the water because it's too cold. But I'm doing cold exposure and I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm actually enjoying it. Not going to tell my stepkids that. Heat exposure. I hate saunas, but I love baths. So I'll be taking baths 3 times a week and making them just a bit warmer than I usually have them. And that's my heat exposure. He talks about Schedule A and Schedule B. I'll link to that on his protocol. I will be taking care of Schedule B first because I don't want to injure my back. So I'll be lifting weights at the Schedule B, which is a lower amount of weights, more reps. Stretching is so important for my body. I found when I've started lifting weights, I cramp my muscles really easily, and so I need to stretch. So I'll be implementing my stretching as a major part of what I do, and also meditation in that. So taking the time to just take that 10 minutes of stretching and really meditating, doing a meditation app at the same time. I want to lower my sugars. Since I found out that, well, since I had SIBO for 20 years and I didn't have it under control. Once I got it under control, I got it under control by removing sugars from my food, which I did for 10 years and lived quite successfully. And now that I can eat them because I've got a new way of taking care of my SIBO, I can have some sugars. I'm taking that a little bit too far. So I'm really cutting back on my sugars. And that's not just because of what Andrew Huberman says, but it's from so many experts that sugar is so bad for us. I really need to stop snacking in unhealthy ways. My biggest problem is that I'll be home. I don't make an actual lunch. I go into the fridge and I just grab like, leftover dinners. Then I eat too much, or I have like some crackers and some rice crackers and then slap some ham on it. Then I slap some cheese on it. And then I end up grazing during the day. And I really don't want to do that because it's really not a good way to eat. I also want to make sure that I don't feel like I'm deprived from anything. And I also don't want to feel like this is hard work. And that's part of what's really amazed me over the last week. And the results that I've seen from that have shown me that it's actually really possible. I will also be following my supplement routine, which I do take quite a few different supplements for collagen and good fatty oils, vitamins, and also my hormones, which I've got natural hormones, what do you call them, bioidentical hormones as well. Let me get into what Andrew actually does and then what he recommends, and then I'm going to put this up on the screen so you can see it as well. He talks about starting on a Sunday. Doesn't work for me. My mind doesn't go to a Sunday as a start day. Monday works for me. And like he said, it's a guide. So Monday works for me. I did start on the Monday. So he talks about day one being zone 2 cardio. And what I didn't understand was, what's this heart rate? I've got a watch. It's broken and I'm waiting for my new one. The new one comes out in 2 weeks. So I'm going to have 2 weeks with no heart rate monitor, which is really bad for me because I'd always done that for the last couple of years. But I'm just using a guide at the moment for the next few weeks, getting my heart rate up. So zone 2 cardio, I needed to understand what that meant in heart rate, and I've listed that in my own document, so I know, and I'll show you that in a second. So this is running, rowing, jogging, cycling, swimming, hiking, and nasal breathing when possible. And then he talks about day 2. He talks about leg training. It's a 60-minute training session and a 10-minute warm-up. And this is where he talks about schedule B or schedule A, and I'm doing schedule B. He talks about the muscle groups, the hamstrings, calves, and he talks about all of that. Cold exposure is day 3 and recovery on day 3. Like I said, I don't want to be doing a 1-day cold exposure. I want to be doing it every day. He does also recommend that in another way. So I would rather do shorter amounts during the week. Then he talks about day 4 being torso and neck training and indirectly arms. Whereas for me, my arms are more important. So I will be taking care of that, and my abs, of course. And he shows some exercises there. Day 5 is about cardiovascular training, and this is about getting your heart rate to 80% of your maximum effort. What was this? So I've actually I worked out what that actually means. I did some research. Then he talks about HIIT. This is about getting heart rate to 220 minus your age. Then he talks about day 7 being another training day. So I looked at this and I had seen this over the last year and it didn't work for me. And so that's why I kept putting it off. So what I have done is I've actually implemented this in my own way. And this is what I have come up with for me. Monday, leg training. So it's really my booty training. That's really what it's all about for me. So I want to be doing 10 minutes of hip stretches. I found some really good stretching for my hips, like to make my hips more flexible. But also I find that my left glute doesn't activate properly. So I want to be able to activate my left glute. And in that stretching, I want to also be doing my meditation. Then I'm doing my booty. And that's what my Monday looks like. Tuesday was my torso and neck resistant and indirectly arms is what he says. So it's about a 10-minute stretch, and then it's my abs and my arms is what I'm concentrating on for 50 minutes. And then Wednesday, he talks about hot and cold exposure, and I will be doing a 30-minute stretching session, some sort of yoga, some sort of Pilates is what I will be doing. But all of these days is also cold exposure for 2 minutes. I'm doing 2 minutes of cold exposure each day. Thursday, he talks about HIIT, 5 to 20 minutes. I actually did some research about this because the way he explains it, I found people talking about, if you go to Reddit, there's actually a group, a Reddit thread about this. And people writing up there going, oh my God, I did it in 3 minutes. Have I done something wrong? And it's because it really is really intense HIIT training for a short amount of time, but it's how much time you leave in between stretches the time out. So it sounds a little bit confusing. What I came up with, it's 5 to 20 minutes of HIIT. What I found was that I'm going to be doing stretching for 10 minutes, my normal stretching and meditation, and then 10 minutes of HIIT training. I think within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to up that to 15, 20 minutes. I have done 7-minute HIIT trainings. I used to do a lot more HIIT before I got pregnant. Since I got pregnant, I don't do any HIIT training anymore. And I will be taking that up to probably 15, 20 minutes as well. But at the moment, 10 minutes. My heart rate needs to get to 174 beats per minute. That's for me, for my body, for my age. His next day is about neck and calves is what he talks about. So I'll be doing 10 minutes of stretching and then torso, arms, and some leg as well. Then Saturday, he talks about long endurance cardio and getting your heart rate. So he talks about cardio 2, and that, what I've worked out, is getting your heart rate to 99 to 120 beats per minute. So 10 minutes of stretching and then 60 minutes of long endurance cardio. Sunday is my cardiovascular training day. You need a maximum of 35 minutes and your heart rate needs to get to 130 beats per minute. These are based on, I've had my Fitbit watch for a couple of years now. And based on that, there's getting my heart rate to the 174 and keeping it there for the 10 minutes is going to be where my hardest one is, the one I like the least. The other ones to me are going to be easier to do. So what happened to me over the last week, which has just absolutely blown my mind. So over this last week, I've actually written here, I'm going to put it up. So Monday I did a workout and I did a weights. I did my booty weights, and I then on Tuesday did a 30-minute stretch because I was too stiff to work out. I woke up on Tuesday and I was planning on doing something and realized that I just couldn't do it because of my body. And that's where I forgave myself and said, it's fine, it's okay. And then what happened on the Wednesday, which was probably the cutest day of all, I'm going to put a video up here and show you what happened. Wednesday I woke up, it was my birthday. They've got a routine. My partner's got this routine that he's done with all of his kids over the years. You have to stay in bed. They go and make the cake. They organize the cake. They make a breakfast and they come and surprise you. And so I had to lie in bed. I wasn't allowed to get up because I had to wait for them to come with my birthday cake as a surprise. So there I was lying in bed going, oh, I should be doing a workout right now. I should be up doing a workout. And I just knew it was not going to happen. So what I ended up doing was that I was in bed, did my birthday surprise, and then I decided a little bit later, it was probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, decided I was going to do my workout, right? I know I've had cake and I have had a big breakfast, which I normally don't do because I fast in the morning. They'd made me eggs and so I had a lot of food, waited a little bit and decided I was going to do a workout. However, my daughter, she's 3, she turns to me and she said, Mummy, can we do a dance workout together? And my heart melted. I was like, yes, of course we can do a dance workout. So we got on YouTube, found some dance workouts, and I'm going to put a video here of us doing a dance workout together. It was so super cute. The funniest part about that, so we spent, I think I timed, it was about 35 minutes or something. Oh, I've got it here, 30 minutes I did a dance workout for because I kept track of everything during the week and thought nothing of it. But the next day I woke up in so much pain from that workout. So it was hilarious and it worked and it was my moment with my daughter. So I actually think that's going to be one of the things that I implement on a regular basis is just a dance workout, being silly with her and spending time dancing with her. It was so much fun and I got a good workout out of it. The Tuesday, I forgot to say, I actually went for a 5-minute run. It doesn't sound like much, but everything you do actually adds up. And I'm implementing also drinking ginger tea, fresh ginger tea as much as possible as well. Thursday, I did my booty workout, and I did a hardcore booty workout. I did my cold shower. I did over 1 kilometer of walking. It was like a couple of kilometers of walking. And I did some mindful breathing as well. So really calming myself and doing some meditation breathing. Andrew talks about that as well. On the Friday, I did my abs and my arms for 20 minutes. It wasn't as long as I should be. I should be doing 45 minutes, 50 minutes, but I didn't have the time for it. So I just took 20 minutes to do it. And I did a 20-minute stretch that day. On the Saturday, we went to the beach. So I was stretching on the beach. I was playing and running and walking, and we were running in and out of the water. So we probably spent about an hour running up and down the beach together. Me and my daughter having a lot of fun. And that was how I spent that day. And then on the Sunday, I did another booty workout. So that was my week. And I woke up on the Sunday and I sort of thought to myself, not much has really happened. And that's why I had never planned to actually share any of this. And I thought back over the week and I was like, actually, I did get a lot out of that dance workout. And then I looked at my body on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and I was like, yesterday evening, and I was like, wow, I actually already see a difference. I had not expected that after 1 week, but I can feel my whole torso getting stronger already. I can feel my abs coming through the firmness of it. I know it's not going to be done in a couple of weeks, but I do already see really good results. And that's why I really didn't want to share on this video. I don't want to be sharing before and afters in the way of how I started last week and how I end up in 30 days. There's so much more to it than just that. There's so much more to the fact that this is a lifestyle and a mindset thing. And it's about getting myself it's about longevity. So while I'm in a situation where, yes, I want to lose weight. Yes, I want my body to be firmer. Yes, I want to look great in a bikini again. That's not all it's about. And every single woman's body starts off differently. So I know I'm tall and I'm more lean, however you want to call it. But because of my height, I look like the way I look now. Everyone says, oh my God, you look amazing. You've got nothing to worry about. And it's like, yeah, with my clothes on, I look fantastic. I'm really happy. But I know what I look like without my clothes on, and I know what I want to feel, and I know what I want to look like, and I know that I can do better than this. So I do want to get my body back into what I was happy with before, and I know that it's going to happen. So I don't mind at the end of this 30 days showing what I was like at the beginning and now, and at the end of 30 days to show a comparison. But I don't want to be showing a photo now of saying, this is what I look like now, and I'm trying to get to something better, because and I don't even know if after 30 days, I think I'm going to do some interviews with other guests over the next 30 days for the podcast. And I will decide if I really want to share to that extent. I'll be sharing some measurements. I can share percentages. I can share my goal in the way of, I would love to get down to, I wrote it down here actually. My body fat goals, at the moment, I'm at 27.5, which for me is the highest I have. It probably, besides, I should go back and have a look what I was in December, just gone, because I'm sure it was probably higher than that. But this is like, for me, very high. And I want to get back to, I would like to be by December, 23% body fat. My visceral fat, I've got a scale that shows me my different measurements, and my visceral fat's gone up to 4, and it's always been at 3. And even at 3, I thought it could have been better. So I want to get it back to 3. I did a Viome test, which, if you're not aware of what that is, it's really interesting. They do samples of your body, and they find out what your metabolism's doing. But they also give you a metabolic age, and they say that my age is actually, I did this test 3 or 4 months ago. They're saying my age is actually 47, which made me want to die inside, because that was really terrible. So I want to get that test done in a few months and make sure that I've got that down. And that comes down to maybe some of it I can never change because of my SIBO situation, but I want to try to bring that down. And I think my health plays a big role in that. So I want to try to get my age down through these samples that they do to get the information of who you are. So it's not just like my scale was, I actually liked my scale better. My scale was telling me that it had also gone up, but it always said that I was like 4 or 5 years younger than what I actually was. And I was always like, this is fantastic. But my actual real test has shown me something completely different. So that made me sad. So yeah, my aim is to bring down my body fat. My aim is to bring down my age. My aim is to bring down my visceral fat, make myself healthier overall. And what I've seen happen just in the last week has blown my mind. It has really made me think that implementing some extra changes has been very, very worth it. I will continue this. I'm going to be on this challenge for another 21 days, at least as this challenge. And I will be changing it as I go. I think I'll be adding things, like I said, more time to my HIIT workouts. And I'm not going to kick myself. If I can't do what it says on that day, it's fine. And what I've already seen is I couldn't get my booty workout in on a certain day. I do it on a different day. But now I've sort of got more of a guideline of, okay, I need to try to get a HIIT workout in. I need to get my heart rate up to a certain amount, at least one time per week, get it to this rate 1 time per week. And if that means doing a dance workout with my daughter, then it's going to be a dance workout with my daughter. If it means running on the beach, it's going to be running on the beach with my daughter. If it means being at home and doing a workout, then that too. I'm not going to kick myself over what I do, but I will try to aim to get all of these areas covered every single week. So yeah, it's been interesting. I hope I've shared some information with you that makes you think differently. I am all about being as healthy as possible. And if you've got any questions that you want to know more about, maybe I didn't cover something that you're interested in, leave a question underneath this video. If you're listening on a podcast platform, you can come over to the YouTube channel and find this video. It's in my account in Life on Purpose Over 40, and I'll leave a link in the show notes, and you can leave a question underneath the video as well. I'm all about us as women becoming more healthy and living our lives on purpose. And I don't want to be doing any exercise if it just means, oh, I'm doing it because it's going to make me live longer. I want to do this on purpose. I want to do it with a purpose. I want to do it on purpose. I want to lead a healthy life because I want everything that I do to be done for an actual purpose and not just for the sake of someone told me to do it, or someone told me I might get diabetes, or someone told me that I might get sick. I want to do it because I want to wake up every day and feel amazing. And I want to wake up every day knowing that I've made the most of every single day. So I hope that I have inspired you to take some sort of action. Like I said, I'm going to leave a link to what I'm doing. I'll leave a link to Andrew Huberman's method and what he actually talks about. I'm going to leave some other notes there about Peter Attica and what he talks about when it comes to some longevity ideas as well that he speaks about. And I'll be coming back to do another update at the 30-day mark and letting you know exactly how it's gone and showing you exactly how much success I've gotten along the way. And if you want to join me on this journey and you also want to take action, leave a message, leave a comment underneath this video, and I would love to be going through this progress with you, and we can chat about it and work out what's working and what's not working and how we can all live our lives on purpose. So until next week, thank you for joining me, and live your life on purpose and have a great day. Bye.